All right, what's going on, dudes, and welcome to a video specifically on the new structure blocks in the new 1.10 snapshot. There's a lot to go over on these, so again, I thought I'd put them into a dedicated video. If you want to catch anything more on the new snapshot, I have a video showcasing everything else, which is linked in the description, that went up a little bit earlier today, and you can check that out. Anyway, let's get on with this one. So these are new, and the whole idea is you're going to use them to save and replace, put down elsewhere structures. You can say whatever, it's like a schematic, more or less, or what you would do with World Edit, except in vanilla, and obviously has some nice applications for pretty much anything, adventure maps included. They have 4 modes. Don't actually know what the data mode is. I'm sure it has its use, but I am not entirely sure what it is. Comprehensive video, right? Save mode. This is the mode you're going to be in if you want to save any structure. The load is what you're going to want to be in if you want to load a structure. And the corner is what you're going to want to be in. And I'll show you in a moment why you would want to be in that. You can toggle between the modes simply by clicking this C, D, S, L. And then you'll notice that the texture changes as you do it. So whatever mode you want to be in, just click on through and you'll be there. You can also put them side by side in different modes and all of that jazz. So let's, for now, go ahead and try to copy this little pile of gold, because why not? If you could, you would probably want to duplicate a pile of gold because it would make you very wealthy if you were able to do that in real life. Now, the way this works is I currently have this set up just for ease of use so that this way we're looking here is positive X and that way is positive Z. Now, if you were looking in another direction relative to this block location, you would put negatives, you'd whatever. You know how coordinates work at this point, I would assume. So the relative position, and this is between this block and the starting corner of this one, is going to be 2, because it's 2 X blocks over. It's 0 in the Y direction. We're on the same level. And it's 2. I hit tab instead of delete, which is good. 2 Z blocks over. And then we have to input the structure size. So the structure size is 3 by 2 by 3. And now we can hit done. And it's going to show the bounding box that we have so we can give it a nice preview before we actually lock it in. So that's pretty convenient. You don't have to completely guess and hope that your thing ended up correctly. It'll show you before you actually make the save. So I'm going to name this pile. I'll just name it pile. That's the easiest thing to do. And now I'm going to hit the save button over in the bottom right-hand corner. And that is going to save this structure to pile. You have to remember the name. The name is important because that is actually what you're going to use to recall this at a later date. We'll get back to that in just a second. There's also another way to select the bounding edges of a structure, and that is to use the corner blocks. So what I've gone ahead and done here is just put down, I know that one is going to go here. So we're going to switch this over into corner mode. And then we're going to go ahead into this other corner over here. After I set it back to daytime, I'm going to place this down here. Again, switch it into corner mode. And now we have these completely outlining my house here, which, you know, if I didn't want to calculate what the dimensions were of the house, I can, this is just another method is all that I'm trying to get at. Now we'll just call this, we're going to call this structure house. So done, that's going to be house. We want to name these all the same thing. And the reason for that is we're going to call this house. And now we're going to hit detect. Now, because we named this house, it's saying, oh, okay, where are the different corner blocks that also correspond to the string house? And it's going to then bind or put these little bounding box outlines around our house because they're at the edges of our corner blocks here. So just another way for us to easily do that. So now we can hit save because it auto-filled in all these things over here. Boom, we're going to save it, and now we have house saved. So now we've got a couple of structures that we're able to recall as we wish. So why don't we go ahead and let's recall the gold pile, because who wouldn't want to duplicate gold if they had a chance? So I am going to put, let's back up a little bit. We'll reserve that for the house. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to put it into load mode, and I'm going to put gold or pile. Sorry, it's pile, not gold. I should have called it gold. Don't know why I didn't do that. And the only thing we have to tweak is what the position is that we want to place this thing down here. So as it stands right now, it's going to place it where the bottom left-hand corner, that starting corner, is going to be one block above this. So it's just going to be right on top. Let's go ahead and hit load. And it's going to show us the outline, which is pretty nice, you know, so you don't totally mess things up and then have to destroy this massive, massive structure that can be up to 32 by 32 by 32. That's the maximum size. So 2 chunks in each direction. Okay, so we can hit load again, and there we go. We have a pile of gold. Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We can get rid of the bounding box here by simply destroying that, and now we just have a pile of gold that we've created. We can do it again if we want to. We just have to go load again, load, pile, load, gives the bounding box, and load one more time, and there you go. You've got gold. Now, we've also got a couple of different options in here where we can rotate the thing, we can mirror it. The thing is with this, it's a symmetrical structure, so you're not really going to see much. So we're going to go over and try this out with the house. Let's just get far away from things. Why not? We'll put this down, and we're going to switch back into load mode once again. Do house, and now if we want to just load it normally, of course, we can just hit load. It's going to show us where the thing is going to go down. We probably don't want it floating though, so what we can do is we can simply offset it by 1, 0, 1, and then load again, and it's actually going to put it down in the right place that we wanted it to be in. Fantastic. What if I want to rotate it though, which is something you could never do previously in vanilla. You couldn't clone a structure and then rotate it and then set it down elsewhere. So that's what we're going to do here. Again, put it into load mode. We're going to recall house because that's its name. And now we're going to use these things down here. I'm going to rotate the thing 180 degrees. No, 270 because it'll be more obvious because that is a pretty symmetrical structure, even though put the thing on the other side. Anyway, whatever. So I'm going to go -1 here, 0, and -1. I'm going to hit load, and it's going to outline the thing. There we go. You'll notice that it's just right behind our thing here. And now I'm going to hit load once more, and there we go. We have our house, and it's been rotated 270 degrees. How nice and convenient. And then you're also able to mirror the structure if you want to do that, and you can choose which axis it's mirrored along, which is kind of convenient, which, you know, you can also accomplish that in some cases by rotating, but you have those options to go with and stuff. Now, this tool here, you may be wondering why I've been carrying this around in my inventory the whole time. What does it do? Well, let me show you what it does. So we have this little option in here that says show invisible blocks on. Now we've got, whoops, I have to hit done. And now we've got all these like blue things. You're like, well, why are there all these blue things? So these are air blocks, right? When they're blue, they're air. But the structure void is this very interesting thing that you're creating a vacuum basically with this, okay? So when you right click here and it turns to red, it's like there's nothing there. Instead of air, there's literally nothing. And you're like, well, what's the use for that? Well, if you want to copy and paste and you want it not to end up having like open air on the inside, and that's why I have that thing over there, then you're going to want to replace all the like interior blocks with this, right? So you can go through the whole house or whatever your structure is. It's a little inconvenient, obviously, just because you have to like, the placement is weird. And you kind of, you know, you got to kind of trial and error it. But anyway, I'm just going to place down as many as I possibly can by kind of spamming in here. I might not cover everything, but you'll get the idea when I actually go and do the copy paste thing. All right, that's good. That's good. We'll call it there. So, you know, not the most glamorous task to try to accomplish, but it is what it is. Now you can also place this down like in the real world, which is weird a little bit. So if you ever see an invisible block outline that you can't see, that might be like a remnant of someone doing something with this. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide those invisible blocks now. And I'm also going to go ahead and put a villager down in here so that we can show the entity thing as well. So I'm going to go ahead and actually block that up so that you don't walk out because you seem inclined to do that. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to include entities on, save you, and now we should, I may have had, there are houses here because it may have made a boo-boo, and that's why I blocked him up. Because they're trying to get, I saved it and I thought I had the villager, but he walked out. And then I was like, why isn't this working? Anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and turn this into load mode here. We're going to make the relative position 1, 0, and 1. We're going to include our entities, and we're going to hit load. And I'm going to first type in the house. I'm quite good at doing this. And we're going to hit load. And then we're going to hit load. And now, what do you know? We have a villager in here. Good stuff. You have to remember to type in the thing that you're trying to load, because otherwise it doesn't work too well. Now let's go ahead over here, right? And remember how we had all those weird little void blocks that we placed down in there. So instead of actually having all these blocks get deleted when we place the structure down, they're going to stay in there, and we're just going to have a suffocating villager, basically, is what's going to happen. So we'll include our entities, because why not? It'll be a test dummy. And then our relative position is going to be 1, 0, and 1. And then all looks good. Load her up, and load, and there we go. Listen for the sounds. Did you get really lucky? Wow, he got really lucky. How did you manage that? Hold on. What the heck? How are you alive? Wow, you got incredibly lucky, dude. That's amazing. Look at you. Would you look at... Okay, well, congratulations. Congratulations. Anyway, had we not done the whole thing with the structure void, it would have just replaced all those blocks in there, and the house would have been totally empty. Because, you know, that's how the structure void thing works. So anyway, that's a brief overview of how the new structure command... They're not really command blocks, but structure blocks. That's how they work in 1.10. I'm sure there's a reason why the data thing is a mode as well, but, you know. Anyway, maybe it's to... I wonder if it's to check whether or not... I honestly don't know. Data house. Anyway, all right. Make sure to like if you liked. Check the video I uploaded earlier today on the rest of the snapshot, and you can subscribe for more videos. That's all. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.